Hi and welcome to the first Thornley update for 2018. Belated Happy New Year to you all, and hope you had a good Christmas, and now hopefully it's back to some kind of normality. Hope 2017 was a good year for you modelling. If not, we've got the year ahead to 2018, and I suppose the news from Thornley here is that Thornley will be disappearing from here anyway in the cabin. Whether it gets moved on to another buyer or not is yet to be seen. The layout is currently up for sale on the Thornley Facebook page if anybody's interested, and it's quite weird in a way having to start dismantling something you just spent a year and a half on building. But as most people know, the decision has been made to go forward to O-gauge, and as much as I would have liked to have put the O-gauge down this side of the cabin and double O this side, it just wasn't going to be feasible. So I made the executive decision over the Christmas festive period to decide to sell everything on the double O gauge. So the layout's up for sale. Offers invited. Certainly go over to facebook.com/ThornleyTMD and have a look. Few people have created an interest already. At the moment I'm dismantling the back scenes and taking all the wiring off underneath the third layout, underneath the freight line and the voiding line. All the rails have gone, the wires have all disappeared, so it's a bit of a mess at the moment. But hopefully we'll be able to dismantle it in 3 sections and move forward. Although I have said on the Thornley page it's the decision down to the new buyer to dismantle it, but at the moment no offers have come forward, so I'm making the decision to start doing it myself, and I might even redo it as an exhibition layout for someone else. I'm not going to go forward with it, but it can certainly be rebuilt quite easily, and someone who's got the knowledge of wiring. And obviously Thornley's been updated to run from computer control, so everything underneath the layout is feedback modules, etc, etc. It can be used, or you can go back to a simple traditional DCC wiring and run it however you like. So, but I'll leave that up to the decision of the next person. If it doesn't get sold, then there's a good chance that everything will be dismantled, taken apart, resold, which would be a shame, but for what I'm asking for offers invited, there's more value underneath the layout than there is what I'm asking for it, so hopefully someone will benefit from it in the future, but that's another story. Anyway, I'd just like to thank a couple of people who also have their modelling sites on Facebook and YouTube, mostly YouTube. Gary at Cheeky Tech, big thanks for a thumbs up in your last video mentioning Thornley, much appreciated buddy, reciprocated. And I'm going to put a link at the bottom here of a few pages that and YouTube channels that I like to look at, and I think we all agree that most probably we could all do with a bit of help in our modelling, and we get inspiration and ideas from other modellers. And I'm going to give 3 updates for recommendations this time, and what I might do moving forward is do a couple of updates for other sites that I think people should look at if you've not already subscribed to them. Most probably have. Cheeky Tech, obviously Gary has got a nice cracking double O layout in his shed, certainly worth subscribing. And the other 2 I'm going to mention, first one is my buddy Dave up in Nottinghamshire, and he has the most amazing layout in his loft, and it's based on Tinsley TMD. Had the privilege of going there and running a few of my Thornley trains up there and visiting Dave and seeing his layout, albeit quite a while ago now, and his layout has come on leaps and bounds. Again, I'll put a link below. If you haven't already subscribed and looked, please go and have a look at Dave's layout. It is phenomenal. A scale size model of Tinsley TMD is just so awe-inspiring. And the third layout, which most probably is my favourite at the moment, been following on YouTube and certainly got the ideas of doing all the scenery on Thornley and how I did that, was from Dave at Dean Park Station. Again, another gentleman who's got his layout in the loft, seems to be quite popular. Unfortunately I've got a modern house, so hence I built my log cabin. Dean Park Station is just phenomenal. Most probably the best double O layout out there by far. The attention to detail is second to none, and what I like about Dave's videos is that he does do how-tos, and thanks Dave for doing the scenery, because that's where I got the inspiration to do mine, and without that most probably wouldn't have done as good a job as I did, so big thank you too. So again, link in the description below. And then coming months, I will recommend other YouTube channels. There are loads to go through, but perhaps we'll do 2 or 3 each month, and it's certainly worth subscribing to them if you haven't. And if you haven't started modelling, then it's a good way of taking inspiration. Thornley was my very first layout, although I did have Thornley version 1, which was built for me. Thornley version 2, this has all been done by myself, my very first layout. So if you haven't done one, take the plunge and do one, even if it's a small diorama where you can display the locomotives rather than have them in a cabinet on display. I had Mantle Road for display purposes. That's now sold to Andy. That's now hopefully being used for display purposes for his locos. But certainly 2018, perhaps take the plunge and start modelling, and if I can help and any other body helps on YouTube channels, then great. And if you've got any questions or queries, please do put them in the comments below. I'll always answer. I'll reply to every single comment, and I think it's out of courtesy too. So anyway, let's further ado, I'll just show you what's happening on Thornley TMD as we dismantle. Thank you. So as you can see, we've got no back seam now. All the industrial warehouses have come off. Thankfully they were stuck on there by double-sided tape. Well, the main ones were at the front. The small single ones at the very bottom, I did fit foam board behind them and double-sided taped those, and obviously as you can see some of the foam board has come away, but the main large ones here, if I can grab one here, they were all done with a ply back in, 9mm ply back in, and double-sided there, so they just pulled off really easily. The main concern was obviously here, where I had the new section to the warehouse with that stunning footbridge going across, and obviously it was glued down, the support there, glued down support there, the base structure was there, and then obviously the steps were there, and it was a concern that I was going to damage that taking off, because as you can see, I think you just about see the join line that goes all the way down across the board to where the scenery is, that the bridge was in the way, so one had to take that off. And you'll be pleased to know that here we have one intact footbridge, which has pleased me no end. I've left the concrete base on there, which I did with tile grout, literally cut round it, so if this does get sold, someone perhaps could utilise that, or if not, they could cut it most probably and do it. But it's all intact, and I am very pleased that that's it done. I think there's a little bit of glue that's come away from the side there, but a bit of glue is not going to hurt. Service shed and the tanks terminals have all been taken off. They were only fitted on there lightly, so that came off. Obviously the concrete base is all fixed, the lights are still there, all the scenery still there, the back fencing, but it does look weird without any background now. Very strange, but just shows you what a back seam can do to transform a layout. And obviously those industrial units came off. Again, double-sided taped those. There's all the 6 warehouses that have come off. There's the supports for the bridge, and there's the small warehouses that go down the end. So hopefully the new owner can utilise those. This board has got to be split as well. Again, the join line, it goes along just down there. Thankfully the track was all cut and wired up prior to all the ballast, so I'm hoping, I've just started using a knife just to slice through slightly, just so the Dremel most probably can get a better go. But I am concerned that when you ballast and obviously you put your glue down and it's very runny, it seeps down in between the 2 joins, that it's going to be a bit of a bugger to come across, but that will wait to be seen. The depot, obviously all the concrete basing, the Pico inspection pits all lit up, is all going to stay. If it gets dismantled, then that's going to be fun to dig up all that concrete, because the Pico inspection pits and LEDs are most probably worth a few quid. alone, and to have all those LEDs fitted would save someone a hell of a lot of time. But I'm hoping that someone takes on Thornley, and as you can see, it's all looking very strange. Ideally, the next person who takes this and has a bigger room, I think this exit level there, because I had it going round the corner to a fiddle yard, but most probably would be best going straight on and have an extension, perhaps another 4 foot extension behind, making the layout 16 feet, and have a 4 foot fiddle yard behind, and have a fantastic yard and depot exhibition layout, which, to be honest, I don't think there's that many out there. And whether it's up to exhibition standard to most people's eyes is yet to be seen, but I've seen far better and I've seen much worse. So that's what's happening on Thornley TMD. Obviously there's boxes and stuff everywhere. All these are going to come up. I might actually leave those now because I'm going to be putting the O gauge over here. The O gauge layout will be again 12 foot, and I'm going to make it 3 foot. It's going to come away from the wall slightly so I can get behind it. Still not come up with a design yet. Came up with Thornley quite easy because it's based a little bit on Tinsley. That reception yard there, the 6 lines going down the head shunt, although that isn't the head, that's a slightly different way on Tinsley, and the depot kind of based on Tinsley but nowhere near. So the design was quite easy to come up with, but as an O gauge it's going to be a small diesel depot, again going to be computer controlled with the iTrain software, and should be a lot easier for me to do. We have got some track, albeit there's only one piece there. I've got a box waiting, and I'm going to wait and make sure that Thornley disappears first. If it takes 2 months for me to take it apart and rebuild and sell it in sections, then so be it. If someone decides to buy it before the end of the month, I'm off at the end of the month for a week, so I have said on the Facebook page that offers can be invited up until the 21st. Someone wants to come and dismantle it and take it away for a lot less money than what I will ask if I redo it and reframe it and put all new back panels on, etc, etc. They're more than welcome to, and that will save me time, and I can start the new O gauge, which at the moment is called Project Zero. I haven't got a name, but we'll call it Project Zero for the time being, and hopefully 2018 is going to be an interesting year ahead inside the cabin. Few people still ask about the cabin. It is 4 meters by 3 meters. I bought it from a company in Lancashire and spent 2 months building it in total. The actual framework went up in 2 days, but then it's all about insulating, painting the front, outside with all about 4 coats of paint, insulating the roofs, insulating the floor, and carpeting, electrics, lighting, etc. So someone did ask me how much it cost. I'm quite happy to tell you the whole cost, build, design, insulation, lighting, electrics was about £3,500. So I think that is cracking value, considering a lot of companies who supply 4 meters by 3 meter log cabins want like 8 or 10 grand just to fit and erect it. So I think the money I spent on this has been well worth it. It's lovely and warm in here. I have had the little heater on for a while, but it certainly soon warms up in the winter. Don't need it on for too long, and obviously in the summer, window can be opened, door can be opened if need be. So hopefully everybody will continue to follow on YouTube and Facebook when I move over to O gauge. It's weird, I've had quite a few likes on the Facebook page in the last 10 days since I've said I was dismantling it, so I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but no, I appreciate any likes and comments. And again, thank you to all those who follow me on Facebook and make comments. As you know who you are, you make lots of comments and likes, and again, it is much appreciated. That's most probably it for a January 2018 update. I'll leave you looking at Thornley TMD. It's looking a little bit sad, but hopefully the next video will have some news on whether it's been sold or whether I've managed to cut it apart and dismantle it and going to rebuild it and move it on. And 2018 will move forward with Project Zero. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you hopefully in February or even sooner. Take care. Bye bye.